Welcome back, you guys, to Choking Hazard. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be talking about the big dick move that Xbox just threw down. For every great achievement in history, there is a rise to fame and a downfall. Just like Conor McGregor, he was, the two-time champion, and then, then Khabib comes along and beats his fucking ass. And there's the rise of Rome, and then the fall of Rome. And there was the rise of Xbox. Xbox 360 was amazing. It was it's probably the best console at the time. They had Halo 3. I mean, you could just put it right down right there. They had Halo 3 that could basically beat out any other exclusive game on any other console. It didn't matter what anyone else had. But guess what? Xbox got complacent. They thought that they were the biggest, baddest thing in the room, and they didn't think anyone could touch them. They were untouchable at the time. They had the best games at the time, and PlayStation 3 sucked ass. Nobody liked PlayStation 3 because at first it was like $600 from the get-go. At least when it first came out, it was super expensive. And then they didn't have really any good games that came out with it. They had a couple good ones. I think they had like Heavenly Sword at the time, but like that fell off real quick. And Xbox had all the good shit. I think they had Gears of War at the time too, as well as Halo. And I can't remember back in the past too far, but I remember Xbox 360 being the shit during that time period. But PlayStation stuck to their guns. They started coming out with exclusives over and over again. Xbox lost, I think, some exclusivity deals. So they didn't have much. They had Halo, and Halo was on a decline during Xbox One. The new Halo sucked ass. Nobody liked Halo. I think Halo 4 was pretty bad. Halo 5 multiplayer was fun, but the campaign was still not that great. Nobody really cared for Xbox anymore. They had PlayStation, for example. For me, I'm a PC gamer. I don't really care about what other games, like for example, I'll give you one, like Sekiro, right? Shadows Die Twice. Love that game. Love it. You could put that on Xbox, you could play it on PlayStation, but I have a PC. I have a strong PC. Why the hell would I play it on anything else other than the PC? I could get mods on it and stuff like that. So games that aren't exclusive don't really matter to me. But PlayStation over here had all the exclusives. Xbox One, I think, had, God, what was that fucking pirate game? Sea of Thieves. They had Sea of Thieves as an exclusive. Who gives a fuck about Sea of Thieves? Nobody gives a fuck about that. So Xbox knew coming in to this next gen, they are gonna need some sort of exclusivity to their console. I mean, that's just the crux of the argument, I guess you could say. They didn't have any exclusives. PlayStation had all the exclusives. Why would you buy a console that is maybe performs just a tad better than PlayStation? I mean, that's what a lot of the Xbox fanboys have been writing on right now. Is that, hey, it has a little, maybe better graphics, just a little bit, but you won't really see the difference. It's not that big of a difference. But what happened recently, right before the Xbox went out that you could pre-order, they bought ZeniMax. Now, if you guys don't know what ZeniMax is the parent company to Bethesda, and I'm sure if you guys are a gamer like me, you know who Bethesda is. Meaning that Bethesda is going to be exclusive to Xbox. And I know they, on a couple of articles, they said that certain games, they'll go ahead and make it probably not exclusive. They'll make it for all the different consoles and things like that. But they bought the parent company to Bethesda, meaning they own Bethesda. They don't have like a licensing deal. You know what I mean? They don't have like a contract or anything like that. They own Bethesda now, Microsoft. So they can do whatever they want with that IP. So what's even more interesting is that Bethesda being owned by Microsoft and having the exclusivity of the, I guess you'd say the different games. Like, I'll go ahead and name a few right now. Skyrim, everybody knows that game. Fallout, everybody knows Fallout franchise. Dishonored, Doom, the recent Dooms are owned by Bethesda. Prey, Evil Within 1 was kind of bleh, but Evil Within 2 was pretty good, so I like that game. Rage 2, Starfield, let me see, Wolfenstein, I think I already said Dishonored. There's a couple other games that probably, they're kind of blah, but generally speaking, they have the Skyrim franchise, the Fallout franchise, and the Doom franchise, those are hard-hitting games, you know what I mean? Like, I know the recent Fallout games have been kind of shit, but they can make a good one. I believe in Bethesda still. I mean, they made a couple shit games recently, but they still have the fortitude to make a good one. But the Game Pass for Xbox is the interesting part, because Game Pass, they've been selling. I have the Game Pass for Xbox. Basically, you spend $15 a month, and you get to play whatever they have on Game Pass for $15 a month. It's free. So you don't have to spend any money on those games as long as you're spending that $15 a month, kind of like Netflix. So it's just like Netflix. You don't have to buy any movies on Netflix to watch them. You just pay the monthly fee, and you're good all the way through. So what I'm thinking, and this is the biggest, craziest move if Xbox actually does this, if they just, oh my god, if they actually do this and make themselves almost like a Netflix sort of situation, it's going to be game over for A1. PlayStation's going to be, it's going to be a really good struggle for PlayStation. They're going to actually have to bump up their A game to actually compete against that. And 2, Stadia, I don't know if you guys remember Stadia. It was this thing where you don't have to buy a computer or anything like that. They have their own, you basically spend a certain amount a month, and then Stadia has their own servers, and they have their own soft or hardware there, and they basically stream games for you, and you get to play them, and you don't really need all this hardware in your house to actually play it. The issue was that you had to spend a monthly fee as well as buy the game there, which is like kind of stupid. It kind of like loses the point. You're like, well, I could just buy the fucking game normally and then play it, right? Why would I like buy the game on your site or whatever and play it? That the only difference is I just don't need like a PC in my room. My PC's right there, by the way. I don't need a PC in my room. But I have a whole room for playing games. I mean, at least I do. So the room's not a problem. And I think most people don't really have a problem with room in their house or anything like that. So having a console here or there, not a big fucking deal. So if Xbox does this and they make it so that you pay $15 for Game Pass and you get to run any exclusive they have there for $15 a month, like the Skyrim franchise and stuff like that, or the Fallout franchise, or Doom, sweet Jesus, they are kneecapping Stadia, like kneecapping them. They are basically executing Stadia. They're gonna be like, get on your knees, and they're like, what are you gonna do? It's like just look away, click, boom, Stadia gone, instant dead. So yeah, if they do this, and that's what I think that they're trying to do. I think what they're trying to do is get these exclusives, and if they actually go full balls deep into this, just like the way I'm thinking, they could be an extreme competitor for Sony now, just from that. The reason I think this would actually PlayStation pretty hard is that Xbox, right? So let's just say you were just a console gamer, because I'm PC Master Race, doesn't really matter to me. I have a PC. There's infinite amount of games for free that I can play on PC and download. Doesn't matter to me. But if you're a console player and you only play console and you're choosing between PlayStation or Xbox, personally for me, I think PlayStation still has the better exclusives. They have more, some of them are better polished, I think, than some of the Bethesda games, but that's just me. Fallout franchise, the Skyrim franchise, Doom, things like that, they're very well-loved games. So let's just put that out there. They're nothing to be, reckoned with. Those things are good games on their own. But if I, let's say, didn't have much money, if I don't have that much money, I mean, I can't buy 2 consoles. I can't, let's say right now, I know the new consoles, the games that are coming with them will be like $70 plus. So they're jumping up like $10 in price now. I'm seeing it with EA. I can see where everything's changing, where it's going. I can see the writing on the walls. It's going to be $70 games now. That's just what I'm thinking. It's going to be like that for most games. So if you were to buy PlayStation for $200, $300, whatever, or buy Xbox for $200, $300, and then you'd have to buy, let's say, a couple of games around with it, that's $140 extra, right? So you spend, let's just say, we'll just round it up to like about $500 just to buy the console and 2 games. Now, that's a lot of money to be throwing down. That's a shit ton of money. Most people don't have that type of money just be fucking chucking around, willy-nilly. But let's say, for example, Xbox over here, it's $200, $300 to buy the console, but you buy the exclusive pass for $15 or the Xbox Game Pass, and you get to have all these games for free along with it. Now, that is something that you can bargain with. The games might not be exactly as good as some of the games on PlayStation, but if they're a ridiculously amount cheap, that's what I meant to say. A ridiculously amount cheaper. That's English that I'm saying. if they're a lot cheaper, then you have a good chance of buying that just because you need food on the table. You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy food over a console. But if I can have some entertainment along with that console as soon as I buy it, and then put down, let's say, like a Netflix monthly fee on that, I get a bunch of games along with it. Oh man, that is a move. That is a good move, Xbox. And the thing is too, I was thinking for a little bit too. I was thinking, well, licensing and things like that would be an issue normally because a lot of people didn't like Stadia because let's say if there's a licensing issue and you're playing and you bought a game for $50-$60 because you had to do that during for Stadia, and they just back out of a contract or a licensing thing or something happens. You just lose that game. You sure just lose that game. You spent $50 on it. It's gone. I'm sure they're not going to refund you. That's just not how these situations work. So a lot of people were very skeptical on Stadia, and they're like, I don't think I'm going to do that. Xbox bought the family company or the parent company to Bethesda. They own them, so they can do whatever the they want. That means that they can put that on their Game Pass if they want. That's where I think they're going with this. That's why they spent $7.5 billion on that deal. It's a huge deal. I mean, it's a big deal. A lot of people are kind of underplaying it, especially PlayStation people. They're like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Bethesda's kind of like, they're like foot's half in the grave right now, which, I mean, I guess you could say that's true. But just having some of those games as a Game Pass is a big deal. That's like a huge deal. Having games basically for free, tons of good games for free. That is a big deal in my opinion. That's just it's just what it is. It is what it is. Sorry, PlayStation buddies. So that's all I wanted to say about this. I thought it was a pretty big deal. Them just buying it out wasn't that big of a deal to me. But then when I thought the Game Pass sort of thing, that's a big deal. That could change the game if they actually end up doing that big time. But that's just my thoughts on it, you guys. Hopefully you guys... Whoa, I almost fell out of my chair just now. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this. Because I think if they go down this route, they could actually kneecap... they're kneecapping for sure Stadia. That's just 100% going to happen. Stadia just was such a stupid idea. Spend money a month and then pay for the game. Yeah, well, okay, sure, I'm going to go ahead and do that. What the was that about? But then Xbox comes along, and perhaps if they do this, I'm not sure, they could kind of chicken out and do something else, that's a big possibility. But if they put Bethesda stuff on the Game Pass, oh man, it's gonna be, oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of complaining on the Sony side. So go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I think it's gonna be a big deal. So. See you guys next time. See ya. Thank you. Bye. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, you made it to the end. That means you must enjoy my content, so go ahead and tap that subscribe button for me. And if you don't like my content, subscribe anyways. My videos are proven to make your schlong longer. Follow me on Parler if you want additional content updates, or if you want to interact with me personally. And join my BitChute channel for additional content. Thanks, you guys. See ya.